golf fans, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final round. It all comes down to this. On a Sunday in Yeongju-si, the CreaS F&C 47th KLPGA Championship will be decided. It was looking like Hong Jung-min was going to cruise to victory after 54 holes, but she has struggled out the gates, +1, and had 3 bogeys in her first 5 holes. She was able to right the ship a little bit on number 6, has restored the advantage to 4, but it is a whole lot tighter than we thought it would be, which means we are in for an exceptionally exciting 4th and final round. Ma Tae-som and Park Ji-young at 9 under par nearing the turn. Chi Han-sol 4 under for the day. She has finally broke through in this tournament, is at 8 under. And Park Young-kyung, who is looking for that 3rd title at this event, she is also +1 in the featured and final group and is 5 back. We can call it for what it is. Struggles to begin for the featured group, with Park Ji-young only at 1 under, Park Young-kyung with 3 bogeys. 2 bogeys, excuse me, looking to avoid a 3rd, but this will do her absolutely no favors. She was in a tricky spot on the hillside, caught it right at the equator, didn't get under it really at all. So now that putt will be to try to save a par. She has been electrifying. Chi Han-sol, she is on 13. She is putting with the wind at her back, carrying up the hill, getting a last little push, finding herself within a foot or 2 of the cup. Park Ji-young 69, 70, 69. She has been the queen of consistency. She can close the gap to 3 with a birdie here. A little bit left to right and up the hill. The speed was okay, the alignment was not. And Hong Jung-min can perhaps breathe a sigh of relief. EA1, 68, 75, 69 through 54 holes. She is at 3 under par. Also looking at birdie, trying to hole number 11. Birdie into the back 9 on the Forest course. Opposite from Chi Han-sol, and that this was downhill. So the slightest of taps to get it started. Also struggling with alignment. Keeping it 7 under. So now Park Young-kyung trying to avoid dropping for a 3rd time in the round. It's a tricky one, about 3 meters. It's looking left. Oh, hang on. So another early bogey. She'll be hoping that she can get it out of her system now. It's one of the sunniest days we've had this week. It's also one of the windiest, 2 meters per second. This is an effort from the fringe, gets 90% of the way there. And as we head back to 8, we know that Hong Jung-min isn't out of the woods yet either. She's trying to save a par. Not only has she missed, she's missed in a big way. The putt for bogey will be even further than her putt for par was. Just completely misread it. There is absolutely no doubt that the weight and the pressure of the major championship is weighing on her shoulders. Ji-min Young was off the green after the tee shot on the par 3 12th. Wow, are these greens ever playing fast today? Oh, it's utter disbelief. She relinquishes 2 strokes in the blink of an eye and brings herself back within reach of the field. It's a double bogey. She's lost 5 strokes on this front 9, and her lead is down to 2. Sol gets it the rest of the way. All of a sudden, she is within 3 through 13. Young would drop to 4 under where she began the day. She can find something here. Good save. 3 birdies through 7. 2 bogeys, 9 and 11. She steadies the ship with the par. So on 10, 9 iron, 9 under. She went exactly where she needed to be, front left, though those fast greens rear their ugly head again as she rolls off into the fringe. Recurring theme. Tee shot on the par 3. She's on, but what we've learned is it's no guarantee of anything. Punching shield, punching a 10. Precision. Two shots from the featured group. They are ready to meet the green on 9. We'll start with Buck Jiang, 139 to the hole. As you can just make out on the horizon, back right pin placement for Championship Sunday with a long bunker bordering the green. And some adjustment with the wind blowing left to right and a bit at her face. Is where she went, but short. Front stage of the green. Never in her wildest dreams, Jan Sol thinks she would be anywhere near the top of the leaderboard when she got to the course this morning. Some great shot making. A little bit of help from those above her. She is tied for the best score of the round with EA1. And able to reach also with the headwinds on hole number 14. .135 for Pak Yang-kyung. You wonder if she'd even consider an 8 iron here with the wind. be pin high. Soul with a bump and run. He's going to pick up some speed here despite what the gale force winds are doing. Down the hill, inching ever closer, finally coming to rest. Hong Jung-min at 9. Much, much better. That is absolutely akin to what she did on countless occasions yesterday. She needs one for the confidence. Speed was well judged. We'll take one more shot. Now EA1. To get left. It does just that. Late break, right on time. It is birdie number 4 today. Going to add this feather to her cap. Kim Seol for par. Able to avoid the bogey. That was lurking in the shadows. Park Ji-young, it is a sliver inside of 14 meters, a good looking putt. She has been on fuego. It's really pushed her towards these top spots. How well she's operated that flat stick. A little bit of luck. She needed the skill to put herself in that position. Pang Shin-shil, it's back to even T6 at 7 under par. Young pin high, good to go. A colossal birdie. She goes out with a 37. 1 over through 9, but moves back within 3. Flashbacks to yesterday at 18 and a very similar electrifying way to end the round. Good for Hong Jung-min. A big time bounce back. As mentioned, 3 bogeys, a double bogey, 3 birdies. It's +2 at the turn. No such luck, unfortunately. Kim Seol, who continues to have some early round struggles. Decent effort for Chi-Han-Sol, but not enough to impact the scorecard. All right then, a quarter of an hour in and things already look different than they did when we began. Hong Jung-min's advantage down to 3. Mates Som and Pak Chi-young at 9 under par. Chi-Han-Sol and EA1, the two players at 4 under for the round, are tied for 4th. Hong Yu-min inside that top 10, 1 under through 10. Kim In-sun 7, and Shin Da-in at 6 under par. Welcome back to the Lakewood Country Club. We are officially at the Forest Course, and we will be here for the remainder of the event. The back nine begins for a featured group. 2.5 hours to decide a winner if we can get there after 72 holes. You mean on number 11, looking up towards the green. Straight line from the bunker at the front. And just 11 yards from the back. The club was great. The distance was great. I hope the putt is the same as well. Drive from one of the players that is certainly able to shot to win this whole thing. EA1 needs to turn up the wick. His final 5 holes or so. Keep herself around, but she will feel very good about being at least in a top 10 position by day's end. Hong Jung-min. It's a shot-by-shot, hole-by-hole battle, but there is something symbolic about the start of the back nine. Despite everything, she can still come in to this half of the round and say, I'm up by 3. 2 or 3 birdies, and she can absolutely get it done. Hung Yumin. Started left early, didn't come back the other way. E1 now with the par save. On to 14. Young nestled into the left side of the fairway after her tee shot. She's 124 to the flag. Front left pin location for Championship Sunday. Bouncing once, twice, and getting stuck on the fringe. It's a decent position from which to putt, though. Next is Hong Jung-min. Just like she had done on number 9. Gets that set of wedges going. The putter would surely follow suit. Park Ji-young, a pitching wedge from 114.
네. 지금 이게 박지영 밖에
Now on 11. Well, overcooked. That's with calm wind too, just the wrong choice of club. Jae Sol over the pond, straight at the flag. Regret not being able to carry that an extra meter or two. Punch-in shield. Over the hole and no backspin. Unfortunate reality of a lie in the rough. Park Ji-young, her third from the fringe. Really good effort. Really good effort. Young has elected to go with the putter. Comes within 15 to 20 centimeters. recovery mission. Lands on the corner of the fringe, hits the pin, and kicks back out the other side. Cannot suggest she did not go for it. Jiansel, 13.6 meters. A little more power than she might have been there. She did everything right until the end. Jiang shouldn't have been dramatic, and it wasn't. It's clinical, if not surgical. .151, EA1. 14. And no, is she gonna stay? No. Unfortunately not. Down it comes. It was a par for Jungmin. It's a par for Park Hyung. As well for Matt Tassom. It is a trend at the moment. Par birdie, Hong Jung-min has dominated this 11th hole and is not showing any sign of change. A good drive. Par 5's always an opportunity for something special. The wind, though, could change things drastically. Park Yang surprised herself with that. She was laughing when the ball left the face of her driver. But laughter, I suppose, is better than the alternative. But yes, look how much flex are in those tree branches.
Look! 핸드폰 소리 안 나겠네요.
Young has an identical reaction. Underneath it and picked up by the wind and carried along. All right, time to sprint. In the meantime, no Sungi. Back it comes, stay straight. Fantastic putt that is. First birdie since hole number 1. She inches closer to the top 10. EA1, the long putt up the hill. She was doing a bit of a psychic by perfectly envisioning the speed it would need to get up. Leaving herself with less than half a meter for that par. Had to step out on the rush of that alignment, or something she wasn't particularly confident in. Second for Park Yang, 4 she shouts. Skips off the cart path and is off into the trees. Fortunately, there are a lot of witnesses around, and more importantly, no one was hit. So tricky right now with the wind. It goes without saying in some ways, but this club in particular, you're not getting the loft. So in some ways, you're avoiding the big gusts, but also when you have that crosswind, it can really be nightmarish. No such problems for Park Ji-young. Dreaming crisscrosses the fairway, bordering on the rough to the right. Mata Somjing off on 12. 6 iron. the beach, and one she won't particularly enjoy. Down in the valley and towards the back left, which is precisely where she needed to be. So good up for Ji Hyun-so. Park Young has found her ball. Why is obviously doing great. So that is her pathway out. Lay up. See how greedy she tries to be. She's got to find the line. Back into the fairway. Chalk off the birdie, and now she's able to hole out. Up and down for a par, absolutely on the table. A pitch to get up and down on the green. Hong Jung-min, she was technically in the fairway. Not anymore. One of the most important shots of the round for Park Young-young. She went for it, and as the wind calmed, she ends up on the back fringe. So by my math, drive to the rough, lay up to the fairway, to the back of the green. She'll have two putts, or a chip and a putt for par. And that is excellent side spin. Coming out of the sand, minimizing the mistakes. look into my crystal ball and imagine that not many players are going to fancy themselves looking for an aggressive line to the pin on that hole if that crosswind stays. The water right there and the sand beside it, it is not for the faint of heart. The weather can change, the wind's not expected to fully disappear, but right now, even for those trailing, the aim is par. Pick up your birdies where you can, especially on the par 5s and 3s, but otherwise it's focus on the par because there will be bogeys from around you on the leaderboard. Hung Jung-min hopes she left those bogeys behind on the front 9. Back-to-back holes to start the Forest course. She has been back to her very best from Thursday. To 14, EA1 for birdie. Big swing up the hill. Line's gonna look left and just drift over. Still a very good putt. Here's Park Ji-young. Come on over ball. Great speed. And the eye test alone tells us just how good she's been with the putter, but let's give you some numbers you can wrap your brain around to support that claim. Especially when you consider what she did yesterday, where she was the 11th best in the field. Strokes gained 2.01 on the greens. Now Jihan Seol. It's quick, it's right. It is past her target. Not quite there. There's Mataz Song, just enough, hangs on long enough for par.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Another stat for you, par saves, T3 this week. Another one. brigade, excuse me, easy for me to say. It continues. Jan Sol, she's close to a birdie, but it's not going to come for her here. Less dramatic with the driver. That will be all she thinks about on her walk to the 12th tee. I guess she doesn't have to worry about the driver on the 12th tee. Got to worry about a wedge. And now just beyond. And now the ball needs to stop. Finally digs in. Seven iron for Hong Jung Min. And that's not disaster, but certainly not good. Tell you what, we're seeing some monster numbers today with driver. How about this for one? 325.3 meters, Chung So-yi on the 13th tee. Now, with the wind, you're obviously getting some help, and that is a huge number. Everyone wants a glimpse of this tour's biggest stars and the previous generation's biggest stars. And it's almost unfair to say, we're talking generations, like 5, 6 years, there's a new crop, different skill sets. Park Ji-young is still in the prime of her career, but when she was in, let's say, the Lee Dong-in shoes, EA1 shoes, there was no Park Young just yet. There was no Peng Shin-shu, Kim Min-yo. Seems to turn over so quickly with the new crops and keeps this tour exciting. This Park Ji-young next, 7 iron. So he's done one of each. Bogey, birdie, par here on the 12th, and she will be joining Jung Min and Sands. She's running out of time, Park Young. Another bogey on the par 5 after misadventure into the trees. That is now 4 today. With 2 birdies. She has not birdied a par 3 all week long. She'll have 2 of them here. She's got to have at least 1. You have to think to stay in the hunt. That was either an accident or really clever camera work. Zooming out from the trees. Yes, avoid those this time. Green's wide open for her. Everyone wants a beach party. Not the time for that. It's a celebratory thing to do. But I guess they can commiserate together in the hazards to the right of the putting surface. Let's go to the final, par 3. Jihan So. Seen at least 2, if not 3 people come within a yard or 2 of that brand new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Skip and roll. This will work out just fine for Jihan So. That's a lovely tee shot. Jung, a bounce back birdie for her. That's number 3 today. It moves her back under par for the round. Closing in on a top 5 finish at the major. 1 hole to go, and she's waved the white flag in terms of her title aspirations. She's just enjoying herself right now. That's the thing. You remember the winners of these tournaments, of course. The players especially. Remember the top 5s, the top 10s, the podiums. Winning is the dream, but the paydays, the opportunities, the exposure, the confidence from placing well in a major, even if you're not number 1, valuable. Of 1.3 billion won, it's 234 million for the winner, 143 for P2 and 104 for P3. Winner's check of 234 is about $1 million American dollars. Maybe that's a bit of an aggressive roundup. 913,000 US dollars, 805,000 euro. It's a big payday. It should be. It's a prestigious tournament. And that's not the main motivating factor, but it is in the back of the minds of these players, surely. Look at that. That's a great angle to show a terrible lie. 40 to 45% buried, bordering on the hillside. This is going to take some skill to get this anywhere near the hole. 21 meters. Anywhere on the green, she will be happy. Big blast, just will roll through, and she can exhale. Perfectionist in her once more, but that is just fine considering what could have been. She was buried. Much better lies for Park Ji-young and Hong Jung-min. Big gust. Two players tied for second. Addresses the ball. That's what Park Young was after. Oh, settle down now. Extra motivation to get to the ball, to mark it before it blows away. Weather delays in this sport. You think of rain, lightning, darkness. It could be delayed for wind, but we're not even remotely close to that just yet. Another good bit of touch from Hong Jung-min. If she misses this putt, Park Ji-young gets hers. The lead is down to 2 again. So on the par 3 17th. She's tied for 4th at the moment. We'll share a podium spot with a make here. Flag is just in front of the official scorer, who has an important job to do, so we can't complain. Action from Jihan So says it all. Shot 1 to the sand, shot 2 to the green. This is the putt for par. Won't be an easy one either. So likely equal what she did on number 9. She knows the pressure and the implications of missing here. How the winds aren't doing much for her confidence. Good. Started inside and never wanted to come back. This will be the second time today. Back-to-back bogeys. She had not done that all week. In fact, she was bogey-free in round 1, only had 1 in the second and third rounds. She's up to 5 now. -6 score takes her. Share of 7th. Matasson nicely over the sand. Soft landing in a great spot. Tied for 3rd and par saves. Sung Jung Min tied for 2nd. 92% of the time she's done it. This will be one of her longer ones though. She stood up early and launched helplessly. It wasn't so much a prediction as it was explanation of the circumstances. Jungmin misses. Park Ji-young, if she pars, she's within 2. With 6 to play. She would take those odds, especially considering she trailed by 6 at the start of the morning. Here it comes. That's a marvelous putt. Young, incredibly disappointed, but she'll have to dust herself off. She's a long way from where she hoped she would be, but she just has to stop the bleeding. +3 for the round. Just like Hong Jung-min, to be fair. That also means deficit is 5, just as it was this morning. She's going to have to figure something out here, especially on the par 3s, of which she'll have 1 more. She gets to 17, so her lead is dwindling fast. DA1 is on the prowl. 94 meters out. She's so good on the par 5s. Shots like that. Birdie when she gets to the green, and she would make it a 3-way tie for second. Only 2 strokes back. And now Matasson It's just to the inside. Disappointing miss. Keeps himself within 2, but that was a close call. Sonia Bean, 14. It's gonna go, no! It was just a bit too quick. It pops out the reverse side of the hole. Would have taken her up to 4 under. How close did she come? Has already arrived at 13 and is going through the practice motions. Young flirts with danger. Oh, nope, she doesn't just flirt with danger. She takes danger out to dinner. And they went for a stroll to the sand yet again. Fourth hole of the Forest Course. Hong Jung-min is next. She just took out some serious frustrations. Channeled it to a very long drive, a good drive. We saw the setup shot. Now it's time to see if EA1 can deliver. This looks good off the face. Just enough. 9 under par. The score is great. The fact she's bogey free is the most impressive thing about it. 5 under for the round. She moves into a tie for second position. Well, it's getting wild. It's the best type of action on a Sunday. The first hour flies by, and the lead for Hong Jung-min shrinks. 2 shots over EA1, Mata Som and Park Ji-young. Chi Han-sol in 5th, Kim Woo-jung in 6th. Park Young, finds herself with Hung Yoo-min, Pang Shin-shil, and Kim Min-sun 7 for 7th position. We'll take a break. Be back in a few at the Lakewood Country Club. This is the 47th KLPGA Championship presented by CreaS FNC. All right, after a quick refresh, we're right back to it. Pak Ji-young out of the sand, you wouldn't know it. She'll stop up on the fringe. No, she won't. Uh-oh. It looked so good. Of course, she can't manipulate the spin. She was at the mercy of the wind, and the wind has been cruel to all. From our angle, that looks a really, really thick set of grass plates that she has landed in. So some caution perhaps for Pak Yeon-gyung, though she does have pitching wedge in hand. And no, she is short. And it's not just that she clubbed down, but she didn't give it a full swing either, and she's painting a frustrated picture, and you can understand why. More loft for Hong Jung-min by virtue of her being longer, 269 meters off the tee. It's not where she wants to be, but based on what she just saw from her group mate, she'll probably take that without batting an eye. Now she's going to have to get a birdie somewhere in these final 6 holes with the threats beneath her on the leaderboard. One might be enough, you know. Avoid the bogeys, pick up a birdie, could be laughing. 154 for Mata Som and a hybrid club. Too much. And to see the spectators will get a great view of that reversal on 14. On 18, Jihan Sol. Middle right where the pin is today. That's the back. Where's it going to stop? That's what we're most interested in right now. I never thought we'd posit if the players are missing the rain, they wouldn't mind something to soften up these greens that are playing like concrete with the wind. Unforgiving. This is the championship Sunday of a major. It's not supposed to be easy. Sungi makes it look it though. Second birdie on the back 9. She goes to 6 under. Here's Pak Yeon-gyung. Much better lie than it was 1 hole ago. Up and down, nice and slow. It's more like it. She's not known as a player who's particularly exceptional at sand saves. In 5 events, she is 39th on tour. It's 19 rounds and 6 saves. She's looking for number 7. One on the par 4 16th goes to the back. herself just about level with the flag. Let's chip up. You mean Seoul. Back to 16, EA1. Good display of weight control. Capitalize. Good recovery off the back. Fortunately for her, it will be bogey in her first since the third hole. Takes her back to even for the day. That's 8 under. Stance for Buck Young, a little flip up. The lie wasn't as bad as we feared. She is scooting across the green yet again. Supporters off their feet. She had the soul. Nice way to end it. She does have her birdie after all. 6 on the front, 1 on the back, 2 bogeys, 67 in the final round, and now tied for the runner-up spot. Right there for EA1, but she will relinquish a shot. Jungmin, an outside shot at a bird. Not gonna have the speed. Young knows the stakes. Trying to save a par. Look at her go. We will remember this one. Certainly, if the rest of the back nine goes her way. Rebounds. Young's sand save completes. The crew, despite various challenges, escape unscathed somehow down to the final 5 holes. She will enjoy watching the highlight of over and over, and for good reason. Well, I will take the blame for the announcer's jinx, but the leader of a major championship, par shouldn't scare her from a meter and a half. So now it's official. Everyone has their par. That's fine. Shot for eagle. It's exquisite. Set up by a great approach. That's plus or minus 1, 2, 4. Take the bogeys, and it's minus 1 now for the round. With 5 under, knocking on the door of a top 10 finish at the KLPGA Championship.
자, 핸드폰 소리 안 들리게 해주세요.
Well, in this final stretch, 3 birdies all week long. 2 of them came at the hole that will succeed this one. All pars on 13 and 14 in the tournaments. Pak Ji-young, she finds the fairway with her first shots. Great turnout. Awesome crowd following the group from the beginning to the end. I want to witness history. Out of position. Let herself ease up at all. Still nursing the slightest of advantages. It's an enviable position to be in the home stretch of a major. And that's why yesterday was so important. You can afford to have a few slips. Nerves get overpowering. Rely on the lead you built. She has not been in the 70s once this week. That's going to change today. At the very least, we would expect her to see 72. That would be a good result for me. Reflect back on last year when Ejek Mead won 23 under par. It's not going to be that. Rain every day but today, and for the final round, ferocious winds. Minus 23. Entire history of this tournament, the best score. Chung Soo-yeon in 2017 with a 19 under. But no one met that 20 threshold until last year. Chun-Ye Song shot 19 under par to finish second a year ago. To extend, clear the water, that's done. It rolls out the bunker. Nope. Didn't hit the rake to make sure she stayed in. Well, the back nine, this is unofficially the last relaxing hole. It's important to use air quotes when you say relaxing. Par 5 15th, par 4 16th, par 3 17th, and we'll wrap up on 18, a 340-meter par 4. Anything can happen, especially with the leads so tight. That's why we love this sport. It's not over the final putt. Young. Approach shot on 14. Supporter saw where it landed and got excited. There's no Velcro. Rolls towards the back. .152 for Park Ji-young. Looked like she was headed back for the bunker. She gets a little bit fortunate, and that ends up being a remarkable second shot. .50 for Hong Jung-min. Can she get closest to the pin? It would take something special. No, in fact, she'll be the furthest. She'll be off the green. EA1 on the penultimate hole. Very, very short look for birdie. She's blown it. She had a golden chance, especially after her bogey on 16. It goes by the wayside. That will keep her down in 4th position. And she likely just bowed out of the challenge for the championship right there. We'll take another quick break, and we will return. When we return, we'll head to the 14th green, where our featured group finds themselves in various positions. Pak Jiang a chance for a birdie, which would take her 1 shot back. It's heating up in the 4th round. Hope you have no plans of changing the channel. It's the CreaS FNC 47th KLPGA Championship. welcome back to Championship Sunday. Pak Hyang was the first in the group to look and hope for a birdie. That was never really on the cards. As we near the 3 o'clock hour, challengers are all within an hour of the 18th green. Pengxin Shiel, I have a feeling that she hit the Sweet Lounge. She gets some free relief, and she's not the only one. She's going to putt. This is a chance for eagle. Slow down, though. Gave way too much. Putting into the wind. Taking her up to 8 under with one swing. Could be a decisive moment in the tournament. Pak Ji-young for birdie at 14. Not going to strike it hard enough. Even with a little bit more speed, you have to wonder if it would have had the legs. Go to 16. 16 in the hazard. Doing a decent job, to her credit, of getting out of there. Unfazed. That is now 14 holes down. Her advantage remains at 2. Pak Hyang keep this pace of play up. Makes the notes onto the 5th, or 5, excuse me, 15th. How it looks from the air. Shot to around the bunkers. It's the unofficial target. If the wind stays, you'll likely see all 3 of them go over the green. Over the water, excuse me. Try to set up an eagle. How much will eagle shake things up in a big way? Right side of the fairway she goes. Next. Consider the tournament as a whole. Par 5s. She birdied both of them on the back 9 yesterday. 7th as well. Actually, let's just say she birdied them all yesterday. It seemed like she birdied every hole. 65. Borderline ridiculous score. So birdies at 1 and 15, the second and first round respectively. Pak Young, number 1 today. The only par 5 that she was able to circle all week long. It's remarkable to think about how things can change over 3.5 hours, 3 hours. She birdied that first hole, and Hong Jung-min bogeyed the first hole. You would have sworn that they crisscross pretty soon. In fact, Hong Jung-min, 3 bogeys in the first 5, a double at 8, another bogey at 12, and she still looks like she's going to preserve an untouchable score. Somme was in with a hope for a while. The birdie well was turned off on number 8, back-to-back, 14 and 15. He climbs to the top of the hill and stands firm. BA1, her setup shot at the last. Sand to the sand. It's a number. So unable to end the streak. Putt for birdie, that was short. Putt for par, that was long. It's back to back, down to T5. It's a cool putter. 2 swings of it. She's running out of holes to make a positive dent. Major championship aspirations. Jungmin 234. Drive found the rough. Takes a wedge. Gonna get as close as she can to the end of the fairway. It also means is she doesn't have an opportunity to try and go over the water in 2. Taking a page out of that book as well. Narrowly avoids the fairway. She wants to be brave. Great drive to set it up. Just 228. She's got the 5-wood in hand. The wind seems to be favorable, and she's above the green by 2.5 meters. Swung on a little extra hard. And okay. She sits in the rough at the back, the most rearwards bunker. Bianca was pointing and saying, no, you're not in the sand, you're just on top of it. Nice shot. So she chips for eagle, which means at the very least she'll putt for par. setup for Han Jung-min goes. She can find herself within one with 3 holes to play. It's the importance of driving. In the modern game, you can be a long hitter, that's great, but you have to be accurate. Han Jung-min has been driving long, but spraying it a bit in the back nine. Digging in to the sand yet again here on 18. The last 2 holes have not gone her way. She might be making a late tournament push. Jump. Double bogey on 17 on Friday, birdie on Thursday, and a par yesterday. Her final par 3 of the event. Second, thirds, and lefts of the green. This with being a little hyperbolic. These are 2 of the most crucial shots of the tournament. Nice adjustment for the wind by Park Hyung-kyung. It's on 3 and a putt for birdie. Shot for Han Jung-min. She still believes she can birdie. Get away with the par. She cannot have a blow up. She'll get the free relief on the fringe like we've seen. With the downslope on the other side of the flag, that likely means a putt for birdie. We've seen the putts go awry a couple of times, leading to a double bogey for her today. Really throw this tournament wide open. Matassom on 16. Over top the sand is the flag. She's on the hillside. What do you do there? Chip it and turf it into the fringe. The Old would putt it out, or the amateurs playing for a weekend round with their mates would maybe putt that out. Shindai, looked like she was going to wrap up with a birdie and a 5 under score. That would have taken her to a piece of the top 10. To settle for a par. Par 72 in the final round. Pretty remarkable to think that this hole, the longest hole on the course, is nearly half a kilometer long, right? She does that in 2 shots, driver and 3-wood. She will have practiced this shot, not the most frequent practice shot, but this isn't the first time she's seen a look like this. She yields the advantage that she won blasting it over the water, and she's going to putt from the fringe. Still on for a birdie. EA1, you can say, simultaneously should be thrilled with how she played this final round. What she won't like is that birdie at 16 where the momentum ground to a halt. She finishes the tournament in the top 5, 8 under and a 68 in the final round, the same score she shot to open things up on Thursday. Oh, it is just a little chip turfing into the fringe, taking some of the speed, but not quite enough. She wants to make sure that she takes the free relief properly. She will consult the rules official to make sure she's doing so. This position, this stage, at this time, you do everything by the book and you ask as many questions as you want. The last thing you want is a penalty stroke. That has so, it's par. Hillside rough, no Sungi, the approach at 18. She will be short. First attempt at a drop. It gets too close to the bleachers. Somebody take 2. This is a really good effort with a pretty drastic change in direction. It's been a whole lot of fun, I must say, to watch Kim Moon-jung this week. She's kept the levity, she's made some great shots, she's been very consistent. Finally ready to play. She gets close enough. In normal circumstances, you trust that she can make that putt 8 times out of 10. With the pressure of the lead, dwindling lead at that, those percentages do drop slightly. 1.3 meters. Park Yang for 7 under. Starts the break, straightens out and slows. Fast forward to 17. There for Matasson. 4 wins in her career, 3 top 10s this season. She had to withdraw last week from the Duchesne EPC Championship after finishing 2nd at the Nexon St. Nine Masters. Valuable experience that she is accumulating in this major championship. All right, Park Ji-young. There is a world where she makes this birdie. Hung Jung-min misses her par, and she's a co-leader. The world that we live in. Park Ji-young will almost certainly par it. That's not to say that she won't move into grasping reach, something like that. It's been a long day. Move within reach. There we go. Take 2. Our leader for par to keep the advantage at 2 with 3 holes to play. She misses, it changes the complexion of this final round. She doesn't read the break. Well done. It is a 5th bogey and a double bogey. That's +4, which is remarkably outside of Kim Min-sol's +6. Im Jin-young's +5. It is the highest score of anyone today in the top 40 in the field. Ji-young just needs to overthink or complicate this, make the putt, move within 1. It feels in some ways like the tournament, or at least the final round, has started anew. You have a 2-time major champion, a 10-time winner on the KLPGA Tour within 1. You have Hong Jung-min looking for her first major, just her 2nd ever win outside of the Tucson match play, which of course is a different set of rules. Chi Han-sol, who's been a 4-time winner and a runner-up 5 times in her career. First major. All Chi Han-sol can do is watch these final 3 holes. Okay, it is a par. She is 4 strokes back. 3 birdies in the final 4. It's not impossible. Count her out just yet, but I tell you, the drama has just intensified greatly. As we welcome you to hour number 3. And starting the day, I would have put some money on the fact we would be done and out of here maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or 2.5 hours, 2:45. Hong Jung-min was going to cruise to victory. And now, we'll be in for a much, much longer afternoon with the potential for a playoff looming. There's nothing like
자,
The drama and intrigue of Championship Sunday. Park Ji-young's away. She's settled into this. She's been there. She's been here. She's done that. This one, she doesn't yet have on her CV. This one being the event. As long as KLPGA Tour has been around, there's been a KLPGA Championship. Year 47. This is the one. I hate to compare it to other tours because every tour is unique, has its own history, meanings, but in some ways, this feels like PGA Championship, LPGA Championship. On a great course, on a great field. Big purse. Down to the wire action. Park Ji-young even applauds the drive. She heard it and she sees it. Launched down the fairway. Well. One stroke, the advantage. Hong Jung-min from Jihan Seol and Park Ji-young. EA1 in with a 68. Kim Woo-jung on 18. She is 3 strokes back, excuse me. We will surely have more twists and turns as our feature group walks down the 14th fairway. We'll take a quick break, catch our breath, and be back with more in minutes.
네, 카메라 다 왔다.
Well, it is absolutely time to get down to business. Third to last hole. Approach shots on the par 4. Buck Young still fighting it a little bit. I don't call it a heated, but rather an animated discussion with her caddy with the club selection. Young showing the composure. Veteran. She wants this bad. Just because she's won 2 doesn't mean she doesn't want to win 3, 4, 5, and more. But of the challengers, I mean, Jihan Sol, she can't have any more impact. Park Ji-young has the most to say and the steeled nerves to go along with it. We'll see Hong Jung-min next, but first, Sonye Bean. Didn't quite reach the dance floor. She's still got 20 meters to go. She'll float it at least half that distance and roll it the rest of the way, hoping to be online. She might hole out. What a way to end it. Into the top 10 with one swing, a brilliant 4-hole window to close it out. An eagle and a chip-in birdie. That is a 71. Her tournament, 72, 70, 69 yesterday, 71 today. Tied for 8th position. Now, Hong Jung-min, when she has been at her best, it's been with her wedges. And I love that response to a tough bogey and a great shot that she just watched Park Ji-young play. Kim Woo-jung tied for 6th. Putting on 18. So take her level with Mata Som and EA1 for 4th. It's not going to be simple. Starts it well above the hole. Look at that. Doesn't really move at all, does it? Certainly not in the way she expected and hoped it would. To see what go awry. Park Young for a birdie. It was quick, and unfortunately it was offline. Oh, heartbreak. A full 360 degrees around. It's a bogey at the end. 68, 71, 71, 72. Still smiles for Sonye Bean. She finishes tied for 13th for now at 4 under par. Ji-young, she can really force the issue. Her share of the lead, fractionally off. moment. Hong Jung-min, creditor. She had not found a birdie since number 9. The walls would have felt like they were closing in. Not a moment for the faint of heart. Absolutely awesome. She's able to rattle it in. It is a par. We're down to 2 holes.
대부분 지금 서 있는 데가 세컨 지점이니까 금방 멈출 거예요.
And you mean it's a 73 in the final round? Well, let's take a flashback. And the flashback we'll make is this remarkable shot from our champion last year, Lee Jung-min. A hole-in-one. And it was part of a very, very special day for her. It was 66 in the major championship. I mean, at that point, it was basically in the bag. Benefit of a little bit of hindsight here. We know that an ace, as improbable as it would be, basically do the same, wrap it up. She's watching on. She's not jumping in delight. She won't be particularly bothered with it either. Next to tee off. She's got to put the pressure on again. Trails through no fault of her own at 16 by 2 strokes. Famously, we only have 2 holes remaining.
미리면 먼저 끝까야 돼.
stay on. So we'll get a little bit of help with the upslope just before the fringe. Let's check in with Chian Sol. Well, camera operator's doing her dirty with that. Trying to enjoy a snack. Speak with friends. Hey, nice to see you on TV. Congratulations, you're on for at least the podium. That's exciting. I'm just presuming that that's how that conversation is going. Now on the 18th, some trouble. It's dry, which means it's not going to cost a stroke, but it is sandy, which is only slightly better. Next up on 18. It's a much less dramatic arrival. Just past Pine High in the Little Valley. Wouldn't dare look too far ahead, because this tournament is far from over. What I can say is, the good news is, after the emotions, the roller coaster that is major tournament golf, we'll be right back at it with another awesome event in Suwon on May the 9th. Investment Securities Ladies Championship for 2025. Another 132 player field. Another $1 billion tournament. Two-zone match play. The last tournament that Germany won. Dana. Again, the defending champion, ironically. Week follow. It's going to be announced in May. We'll start by crowning a major champion. It's turned into a windy, a beautiful day in Yangzhou. Welcome back. It all comes down to these final 15 minutes. Park Ji-young. It's an unlikely but still potential birdie opportunity. She's tracking all the way. Able to get that inside of 1 meter. High out of the sand. And stopping within 3 meters or so. So close. The shrieks brought the roof down. That birdie would have taken her 2 up. She goes and rattles literally both sides. Vibration. Not to be. Now, it's a pretty good effort, but it will stay just short. No late birdie for ENG. Punching shield from the fringe at 18. A lot of ground to cover. I'll tell you what, consistency of the theme. 71, 67, 71. That putt would be for 72. Sixth place position at the major championship. Must make for Park Ji-young. Expecting to see 3 pars. Pushes the issue to the 18th. Matasson for her birdie. 9 under. Oh! Awfully close. Slices past the last moment. 72, 69, 67, 72. Tied for 4th, Matasson. Solid day. Heard something or felt something she didn't like. She steps out. This is less than a meter. Does not matter. She's... she'll feel 5 shots away from being a major champion. She's going to take her time. She's earned that right. And it stays at 2. A bogey birdie still forces a playoff. It would be a 3-player playoff as well. Fascinating indeed. We got close in the first 2. We finally have a birdie. Kim Min-sol, a day to forget, 79. It happens in this sport. +7 though is tough. Starting the day in 3rd. Park Ji-young. She knows she's not going to win. She mathematically can't. 6 under. The best she could do in an incredible world where she got a hole-in-one. Par 4, that's -3. So I guess she still could, but I've not seen a hole-in-one on a 340-meter par 4 in the wind, so it's a mere practicality. Unfortunately, it was a great story all week. She'll have to just hand the reins over, and it'll be special to be a part of the featured group that crowns a new champion. Another flashback. This isn't the kindest for some. It is for others, though. A hole that can make or break a tournament. And last one in particular. Flashback in the literal sense. Tournaments gone by where we've seen some big names, rite of passage in some ways, hoist this trophy, etch their name in the Korean golf history books. There's Che-Jin back in 2019. I'll tell you something else that jumps off the page. First year Park Young-kyung won this tournament. Was it like what 42nd KLPGA Championship in 2020? There were 150 players in the field. We had a busy course with 132. Shield finalizes that score 7 under par. It is just her 6th in the tournament from 132. I'll tell you what as well, look at the distribution chart. 6th place still is a take-home payday. 45.5 million Korean won. It's not negligible. It's obviously not up in the 9 figures. It's never bad. 4 rounds of golf. Some of the other prizes for daily best, rest, different techniques, and all that. Sponsorship, appearance fees, etc., etc. Pretty good way to make a living. All right, Park Ji-young knows what she needs to do. Birdie and get some help. Not going to play driver, instead going with 5. She was cognizant of the bunker and wanted nothing to do with it. It's only 340 meters. 3rd shortest hole on the course, and obviously, yes, branches billowing in the breeze. Wind is a big consideration as well. Final drive of the day, Park Young-kyung. A birdie here yesterday. What a putt that was. Not looking particularly enthused. It's a better outcome than it could have been. She also just avoids the sand trap. And this is always one of the special moments for the gallery. Young takes a peek at the distance. And the gallery gets to leave the cart path. Walk. Final group.
배열이 먼저 들어가면 어떡해. 이 밟지 마세요.
Behind the red ribbon, please and thank you. In orderly fashion. Such a cool tradition. I've enjoyed it from the very first round. The very first tournament, I should say. The very first final round that I've called. It makes for such an exhilarating atmosphere before the party begins. That's unless a playoff is forced, at which point everyone needs to vacate the fairway, because we would have, in that instance, 3 players, barring a complete collapse, going back up to the 18th tee. The caddy's doing the right thing. Hong Jung-min, as respectfully as she possibly can, is saying, leave me alone. Give me some personal space. Steal the nerves. Think about the shot, execute the shot. Don't overthink the shot. Don't underthink the shot. It's mental gymnastics, isn't it? Let's enjoy the pictures while we wait for the final group to make it to their balls. We've seen all the other groups come through. We know the pin placement. You can see the flag in the distance. Line straight from the right edge of the bunker. 19 yards. Second, 12 yards from the road. 135 meters for Pak Jiang. The wind is left to right and strong. Oh no, that's not a confident club twirl. That's a what have I done club twirl. She needs birdie. Even if Hong Jung-min bogeys, and she might have just bowed out there. That will take a lot of the pressure off Hong Jung-min. Not all of it, certainly. She still has to deliver on her shot, but Pak Jiang into the sand. Big moment. After the par for Hong Jung-min at 17, Ji Han-sol knows that barring a collapse, she will just be there to applaud. Crazy to think that she could finish as a runner-up again. Listen to some of the tournaments that she's finished second in, including 2 last year, right? 7th Kyoto Honey Ladies Open, 2015 Tucson Match Play, 2014 Table House D Open, the Dalat at 1200 Ladies Championship, the World Ladies Championship on the European Tour, the OKC and Spain OK Man Open. 8 times the runner-up, 4 times the champion, never a major. She's always so close. On the green and rolls off the back. Now, Jung-min from the rough. Sand is fine, water is not. It's got to be the mantra. Of course, she'll want more. She goes well off the back. Okay. She wasn't taking any chances with the punch. Says the water can hurt me, the rough at the back can't. So here's how it works. Even I can handle this math. Pak Jiang in the sand. She holes out in an improbable fashion. She would go to 10 under par. Which means Hong Jung-min from off the green can win it if she gets up and down with the par. If she goes up and down but misses the first putt and bogeys, she would have to double if Pak Jiang pars. supporters. So those are the permutations. The final group is announced as they arrive at the 18th green. Jungmin minutes away from a lifelong dream. Eternal feat. Obviously, brilliant to see this many supporters of a beloved national pastime. Tip of the cap as well to the grounds crew of the landscapers that have kept this course in pristine condition despite some adverse weather days. The sun obviously helps, but so does the tireless work of all the people involved to keep this course in tip-top shape. Remember, it's the first week of May. Park Ji-young makes it a bit more interesting. She's going to hole out for birdie. Third shot from the sand on 18, 2 back of the lead. She sets herself up well for a par. About 2 meters to go. And Jungmin will play her third. That's her chance at a birdie. She just needs to have uneventful chip here. Don't need to reinvent the wheel, set the roll of light, get it on the green inside of 2 or 3 meters, and know you'll have 2 putts to win. Of course, Park Ji-young will remember exact shoes 2020, and she also came right down to the wire. It was just a 1-stroke win. She shot 67 in both rounds of the weekend. She had Pei Sunu and Imi Jung both 1 shot behind, and she held them off. Here's Hong Jungmin. Oh, she just about hauled out. Would have been a statement on a day that lacked some, a day that turned into more of a war of attrition. The supporters were ready to leap for joy. They would have heard the roars back in Jungmin's hometown. Top 10 finishes last year. Champion in 2022. It's been a long time coming. She can wait a few more moments. There's Park Ji-young. She's going to putt from the fringe. Her third for birdie. She gives it a really good go. She will play the what-if game. all day long, probably all week long. She comes in every single time with such belief, positive memories of Lakewood. And at hole 1, she really believed she was into the shot. Unfortunately, she entered the 75, and it's a tie for 7th position. And then there were 2. A big money putt, might I add. Difference of 40 million won for 2nd and 3rd position. It. She and Jian-So will split that pot. 247 million won. They'll share the runner-up spot. She misses. She'll settle for 3rd. '71st and final putt. Shot of the day is a great putt. 69-70, 69-71. Two good friends, two great competitors, commiserating and congratulating. It's a complicated feeling. And now Hong Jung-min takes center stage. Two putts to achieve a childhood dream. And immortality. No. Oh, slow down now. Okay. What must that feeling be like? Exhilarating, nauseating. Everything you could ever dream of, and simultaneously on the precipice of disaster. In the eyes of a country and many sets of pupils around the green watching. I hate to do it, but I have to do it. And remind everyone of hole number 8. 3-meter putt missed it. She can exercise some of those demons. She still wins with a bogey. Hong Jung-min is a major champion. The largest of exhales. It came down to the wire. But a 76 on Sunday is enough. She joins an incredible list, and Pak Hyun-jung passes the torch. She hasn't even really taken a moment to soak it in. There we go. Champion, CreaS FNC 47th KLPGA Championship. Here comes the rest of the water show. She has not experienced in 3 years. And this one of the 5 majors available every single year. Her name is in the history book.
감사합니다. 사진 한번 찍으셔야 돼요. 어디서요? 방송 먼저 보여주세요.
That's why these tournaments are 4 rounds long. Look at this on the surface and say, oh, 76? Surely that's not enough. Oh yeah, yesterday, 65. Friday, 68. Thursday, 69. Despite shooting 4 over par today. Yesterday was some of the most lights out golf I can recall in a long time on this tour. Now with a 31. A bogey on 14, which quite frankly she never should have missed. She should have been on for a 64, and because of that incredible play, she afforded herself a chance to not be at her best, still win this event. She did that. By the skin of her teeth, she did that. Major champions sat at the table. So once the scorecards are signed, we will speak to the SBS골프 crew. We will review the final round highlighghts.
아니 나 아무 말도 안
Back to
했어요.
the 18th green.
아니야 제가
아파했어 13번은.
그것도 몇 개 했어요?
또 과일사.
미안하 그래도
아파했거든. 언니 얘가 아파했는데 보기 적어놨어요.
나빠. 아니야 그럴 수 있지.
이거 4예요 4.
네.
아 네.
아 진짜 바람.
진짜 미쳤어. 진짜 지기 싫었어.
진짜 아찔했다.
Fun to be a fly on the wall. For Hong Jung-min, it's still all business. She's got a scorecard to sign. The emotions and the realization typically comes when the interview begins. At that point, it's all up to her to just soak it in. She'll be basking in this glow for a long while, as she should. This was the moment. She entered a club. It's not necessarily the most exclusive club because it's a 47-year-old club. All the great players played this game. She was set beside one who's not won this tournament. Forever enshrined, Hong Jung-min, KLPGA champion.
내가 쟤한테만큼은. 너 저번에 배신했잖아.
7.875요.
네.
제가 말하고 단독 2등 했어요 혼자. 배신하지 말자니까.
바람을 못
바람 진짜 와 역대급인 것 같아.
진짜 레이코드 이렇게 보고 처음
드라이버 180m 나갔다니까요.
사람들 나 175m 나갔다고요 11번을.
드라이버 쳤는데 거리 재보니까 180 나갔어.
멀리 나무들을 보니까 진짜 나무.
파3 봐. 같이 그린 좌측 꼭 봤는데 그린 우측 거 빠졌어.
383876 맞나요?
32 signatures, the one in bold.
경민아 76이야?
Spot reserved just for her.
잘했죠.
네, 다 있어요. 제가 정리하고 있을게요.
Well, a red carpet is being rolled out. Red, powerful, enduring theme that we've seen all over the Lakewood Country Club this week. The final leaderboard shows Hong Jung-min with a one-stroke advantage. Doesn't matter ultimately if it's 10 strokes or one. She is the champion. The best of a 132-player field. Chi-Han Sol and Park Ji-young, they do end up sharing second place at 9 under par. EA1 and Mata Som 8 under. Pang Xin-shil all by her lonesome at 7 under. Then it gets a little bit more hectic. Park Yang-gyung shoots a 73 today. Excuse me, 75 today. 3 over. Tied for 7th, the Son Ye-bin, Kim In-sun 7, Kim Woo-jung. Jae Reem, No Seung-hee, Hung Yoo-min, T11. Ko Chi-won, Kim In-byul, Shin Da-in. Kim So-hee, Kim Min-ju, Chae In-woo, T17, -3. Chun Ye-sung, Chung So-yi, Lee Dong-eun tied for 20th, and the last 7 players under par. It's a long list. Han Jin-sun, Hyun Se-rin, Yoo Hyun-jo, Kim Na-young, Pae So-hyun, Kim Min-sol, who shot a 79 today, disappointing to put it mildly for her, and Jae Min-kyung a 75. We had 67 players make the cut from 132, but there can only be one winner, and that winner is Hong Jung-min.
네, 안녕하세요.
There she is with the SBS골프 crew.
감사합니다. 네, 정말 너무나도 바라던 스트로크 플레이 우승이고요. 사실 너무 긴장이 많이 됐어요. 저한테는 거의 첫 우승과 같은 느낌이기 때문에 정말 마지막까지 긴장하고 플레이한 것 같습니다. 사실 첫 번째 홀에는 부담감이 크진 않았어요. 타수 차이가 조금 있었기 때문에. 근데 실수를 하고 나서 이제 지영이 언니가 점점 격차를 줄여오는 모습을 보면서 많이 긴장이 됐어요. 조금은 다행이다 이런 생각이 들었고요. 사실 계속 퍼터가 잘 안 되고 있었기 때문에 들어갈 거라고 기대는 안 했는데 떨어져서 조금 안도감이 들었던 것 같아요. 그 15번 홀에 보기 치고 나서는 많이 불확실하다고 생각이 들었고 버디를 하고 나서도 사실 두 홀이 너무 어려웠기 때문에 확신은 들지 않았어요. 근데 마지막 홀 어프로치 하고 나서 조금 확신이 들었던 것 같습니다. 타수를 보시면 아시다시피 조금 도움이 안 된 것 같아요. 오늘은 네, 연습한 대로 잘 못한 하루였던 것 같습니다. 네. 네, 엄마 옆에 계세요. 근데 우실 줄 알았는데 울진 않으시네요. 아, 진짜요? 엄마 고생했어. 하나씩 이렇게 오늘처럼 해나가고 싶어요. 올해 처음 목표는 1승이었지만 지금은 1승을 달성했으니까 또 우승을 하고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
Well, always a special moment, and more so when you get to celebrate with friends and family. People that have supported you along your journey. chasing this crazy dream of being not just a professional golfer,
Go,
but
go,
a
go.
major champion. She started this round, and she made a statement of intent. That statement said very clearly, I'm not messing around today. We didn't really think too much of her as a threat. She was 4 under. She was over 10 strokes back. But in 18 holes, anything can change. Hong Jung-min would begin at 14 under par. Left herself with a lot of work to do. Obviously, you saw some of the misadventures. She would bogey. And Pak Young, she would birdie with this delicate downhill putt. But okay, it's down to 3. We got to pay very, very close attention to that featured group because Pak Young is on the prowl. The person perhaps we should have been paying the closest attention to, even though she began so much earlier, was Jihan Sol. 2 occasions on the front 9, she made 3 consecutive birdies. She was absolutely lights out. This was an important moment for Hong Jung-min. Not letting the first hole phase her. Responding immediately with a birdie on the par 3. Taking a 7 next, as mentioned. 6 birdies on the front. Separated by a par 4. Get up to 10 under. Now, she would hit some adversity. The bogey on 8. A hole that was also unkind. Within 3. Kind of conceded. She wasn't going to get 4 on the bounce, but she did not expect this. She had been perfect up into that point. On hole number 4, well, this is where the wheels started to fall off for Pak Young in retrospect. Trying to save par, but did not hit the ball nearly hard enough. She would drop 1, and then to 6. Up on the par 4, Hong Jung-min, second birdie. She's still going under at that point. Pak Ji-young, meanwhile, we haven't shown her yet because she was even stealing 5 pars consecutively. Her first birdie on hole number 6. And what is crazy, absolutely astounding, the only birdie of the day for Pak Ji-young, part of the other 17 holes. Just had 1 or 2 more. Maybe we would have had a different outcome today. That was the double for Hong Jung-min, dropping her to 11 under, heading to the 9th hole. This, however, is the opposite end of that spectrum. There we go, hit the turn, -8. Again, the gap was 3. Only 3 for a moment. So we have another birdie. 38 plus 2 midway through the round. 12 is where we go next. It's a huge par save for Pak Ji-young. As the other members of her group both bogeyed this hole. 15 we're taking next. EA1. This 5th birdie of the day. Goes along to hold the foam. She's in second. She's only 2 back. Watch out. She hadn't sold. The reason why she finishes sharing second in that putt. The last one. After 6 through 7, she had to wait until 18. A 67 in the final round. Far and away her best, one of the best scores in general all week long. Every time we started to wonder about Pak Ji-young, she would respond with pars. Consistency always flashy, but it was leaderboard shrank to 4 names on the 15th hole. Jungmin deep. Right off the back, she would take her free relief, move to the left side of the guest suites, and she struggled to get on and get close. Bogey again. And that made things mighty interesting on the 60. Park Ji-young, though, could not take advantage. She just needed one. Just one on the back 9 would have made all the difference. This was Hong Jung-min's 1. Great response to the bogey at the par 5. Restoring the 2-shot advantage, and then came 18. Park Ji-young, she had all day. 217, 71 in the final round. And all she could do was watch. It was agonizing for Hong Jung-min. She missed that putt, and then look, she's of course gonna feel like she can make that putt. But this is different. This is for a major championship. And she steeled her nerves. She's a lifelong dream. 78 strokes the aggregate score. 10 shots under par, a 1-shot win. She well, in moments from now, we'll head down to the 18th green and enjoy your board series.
이 대회의 역사가 한국 여자 프로골프의 역사다 이렇게 보시면 되겠는데요. 역사의 한 페이지를 함께해 주신 여러분께 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 올해도 메이저 대회답게 많은 해 정말 멋진 승부가 펼쳐졌는데요. 그 피날레를 장식하는 시상식 지금 시작하겠습니다. 먼저 참석해 주신 4분들 소개를 해드리겠습니다. 호명 되신 분들께서는 한 발짝 앞으로 나오셔서 간단한 인사해 주시면 감사하겠고요. 갤러리 분들은 큰 박수로 호명해 주시기 바랍니다. 먼저 분들 주최사인 크리스 FNC 우진석 대표이사님 자리하셨습니다. 크리스 FNC 이동국 부사장님 함께하셨습니다. 이어서 공동주최사이자 주관사인 한국여자 프로골프협회 김순희 수석부회장님 자리하셨습니다. 주관 방송사인 SBS골프 이상규 대표님 자리하셨습니다. 그리고 너무나 아름다운 코스를 제공해주신 레이코드 컨트리 클럽 이성원 대표이사님 자리하셨습니다. 자, 먼저 특별상 베스트 드레서 상입니다. 베스트 드레서상은 갤러리 분들의 투표를 통해서 보는 상이기 때문에 더 의미가 있을 것 같은데요. KLPGA 투어 최고의 패셔니스타에게 주어지는 상입니다. 우선으로 크리스 FNC 의류 상품권과 코지마 마사지기가 수여되겠습니다. 시상면에 크리스 FNC 이동국 부사장님께서 수여해 주시겠습니다. 자, 그러면 최고의 패셔니스타 누군지 지금 바로 발표하겠습니다. 자, 축하합니다. 이동국 선수 앞으로 나와주시죠. 오늘의 여기처럼 걸어 나왔는데 키도 크고 항상 웃고 예쁘다는 생각을 했는데 이동국 선수 됐습니다. 오늘 상품권과 마사지기를 갖게 됐는데요. 함께 사진 촬영하겠습니다. 네, 베스트드레서 이동원 선수에게 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 축하합니다. 네, 응원 감사합니다. 자, 그럼 바로 이번 대회 대망의 우승자, 주인공을 만나보겠습니다. KLPGA 최고의 권위와 역사를 살아가는 크리스 FNC 제47회 KLPGA 챔피언십 우승자. 올 시즌 첫 메이저 퀸, 4라운드 총 278타, 15덤만을 기록한 홍정민 선수입니다. 여러분 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
홍정민 뒤에 보고 한번 해라.
홍정민 선수 축하합니다. 자, 먼저 주최사의 크리스 팬시 우지석 대표이사님께서 우승 자켓을 입혀주시겠습니다. 우승 자켓은 패션기업인 크리스 FNC가 직접 제작한 자켓으로 트렌디하면서도 클래식한 테이프 느낌의 디자인을 보여주고 있죠. 보기마다 참 예쁜 자켓이라는 생각이 드는데요. 올해는 홍정민 선수가 입게 됐습니다. 자, 예쁘게 잘 입어줬으면 사진 촬영하겠습니다.
자, 앞에 보세요. 네, 자, 사랑합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 다음은 공동 주최사이자 주관사인 한국여자 프로골프협회 김순희 수석부회장님께서 KLPGA 챔피언십의 상징인 수도의 트로피를 전달해 주시겠습니다. 자, 트로피가 전달될 때 여러분 다시 한번 박수 부탁드립니다.
자, 앞에 보세요.
이제 47번대로 홍정민 선수의 이름이 새겨지게 되겠습니다. 다음은 크리스 팬시 우지석 대표이사님께서 우승 상금을 전달해 주시면 되겠습니다. 우승 상금 2억 3,400만 원인데요. 여러분 전달이 될 때 또 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다. 다음은 주말방송사인 SBS골프 이상일 대표님께서 축하의 꽃다발을 전달해 주시겠습니다. 네, 예쁜 꽃다발과 함께 사진 촬영 한 번 더 하겠습니다.
자, 앞에 보세요. 네, 자, 사랑합니다. 하나, 둘. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 자, 여기서 끝이 아니죠. 수상기도 기다리고 있습니다. 우승자 부상인 500만 원 상당의 코치와 프리미엄 안마 의자를 레이크우드 컨트리클럽 이성원 대표이사님께서 전달해 주시겠습니다. 네, 소감 박수 다시 한번 보내주시는데요. 감사합니다. 자, 마지막으로 모든 내비분들과 우승자 기념사진 촬영을 하도록 하겠습니다. 모든 내비분들은 무대 중앙에 모여주시면 감사하겠습니다.
자, 앞에 보세요. 둘. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 내비분들 그대로 계셔주시면 되고요. 우리 참가한 모든 선수분들 앞으로 나와서 함께 사진 촬영하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 다 같이
자,
한번
앞에
크게
보세요.
웃으면서 사진
네.
촬영하겠습니다.
자, 앞에 보세요. 하나, 둘.
Well, to the champion goes the spoils, and spoiled Hung Jung-min is after winning this year's KLPGA Championship, the 47th, and what a dominant performance it was through 54 holes. It allowed her to win on Sunday by 1 stroke with a 76-65. We'll remember that one yesterday for a long time. The best round of the tournament, and it wasn't particularly close. Well, this is where we have to cut you loose and say goodbye, but not before offering our sincere thanks and gratitude for your continued viewership and support of the Korean Ladies Professional Golf Association and the KLPGA Tour. We will be back on Friday, just a 3-rounder next week, but a big one. A $1 billion tournament in Suwon, the 2025 NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship. EA1, the defending champion, she made a push. Park Ji-young didn't make a push, she just stayed steady, but ultimately a few birdies shy from knocking Hong Jung-min off the throne. She is the first major champion of 2025 and will be forever immortalized in the history books of this tour and of this championship. For all of us at the KLPGA Tour, my name's Adam Jenkins. It's been a sincere pleasure, and we look forward to welcoming you back real soon on the KLPGA Tour. Congratulations to Hong Jung-min.